UK bodybuilding is in crisis. With growing numbers of competitors opting for more accessible fitness-based competitions, and with controversy and discourse within the established federations in the UK, traditional bodybuilding is at risk of being squeezed out. But after 3 years away from the sport, two veterans of the UK bodybuilding scene are out to prove they'll do whatever it takes to win a British title.
I'm going to have to go Team Tom at this point, but don't tell him that.
There's always competition, isn't there? But that makes you want to be better.
He's judging, you can see he's still got the passion for it, he still wants to be up there.
Come on! Does Daddy get grumpy when he's dieting?
I have more titles than Tom.
This is not following a diet. This is not getting fit. This is not drugs doing the work. This is whatever it takes. This is prep. It's 7 weeks until the first show, and the harsh realities of contest diet are beginning to set in for Tom.
Now it's Friday, 5 days low carbing, and this morning I was just absolutely shattered, and all day I've been not wanting to do anything, just wanting to sit down and do nothing, even going up the stairs. To get my training stuff was hard. It was like half an hour's cardio getting up there, and it probably was half an hour to get up there and then down again. Yeah, it's just been a really difficult week.
Yeah, he's grumpy. He is a lot more grumpy, 1000% more grumpy. So, yeah, doesn't like, he don't like dieting really, at all. That's all he moans about, dieting.
I've got a new one, which I'm going to try today, which is cinnamon bun, so I hope it tastes like a nice Danish, so we'll see about that in a minute, but I'm sure it won't taste like a Danish, but I can always close my eyes and pretend it does. If it's close, that'll be enough. That's pretty fucking good actually. 2 hours to my next meal, great. Yeah, it's been difficult. But they probably not as difficult as Paul. I saw him this week, and he looked pretty shattered as well. We trained together on Wednesday, and there wasn't much chat between us at all. No banter, just come on, rep. That's it. Try not to fall over. So yeah, yeah, the level of banter between me and Paul is pretty much gone. There's just hello, how are you? Should we train? Bye. That's it.
Yeah, it is like that. Like, but normally they come in, all right, mate. Whereas now, like, you come in, both of them are in here together, and they're both like sat on the sofa, like silence, just a little mumble every now and again.
Everything's such an effort. Isn't it?
Yeah. I was getting down for that. I was going to lie down.
Yeah.
Better not be a traffic jam tomorrow, can you imagine that? How'd you sleep, Paul? Well, fucking traffic jam. Can't fucking do you, can't fucking do you. And now all here for about half an hour.
He got my road rage today.
And you criticise my driving. Never crash me.
No, I don't criticise it. I say you drive like Miss Daisy, you cunt.
See? It's a cunt then. See that? It's a cunt. Get that one in.
He is a cunt.
Yeah, the whole cutting out of carbs thing is no fun. It's no fun, no joy. And yeah, it's torture. I mean, poor Git couldn't even eat his own birthday cake whilst we all sat there and like...
And at 3. 3 at Tom's.
This cake's really good. Personally, if it would have been me, I'd have nailed the cake anyway. Prep or no prep, birthday or no birthday.
Another one? Do you do the rest before your next set? for me, looking at me, always my issue has been with my back, and although I'm very good from the front, I'm not where I need to be with my back. And that's just me looking at myself and being maybe overcritical, but to bring that little bit extra conditioning. I mean, the thing is, it's not just Paul I'm up against at the British. It's, you know, every other bodybuilder in class 4 that's up against me, and you know, some of them are absolutely rock solid. And not that Paul isn't, but everyone, you know, everyone at the British is going to be at the top of their game, and I don't want to have a 90% back and 100% front. I want to be 100% all over.
Good legs. Tom could step on stage now. He criticises his back, but his back is just not as good as his front. It's not bad, it's just not as good as his front. And I'd be careful with the fact that he's going to go to such extremes to get his back in. Will that damage take muscle from the front? You know, only he really knows, but I'd be a little bit wary of that. You know, I'll be ready for the West. I'll be better for the Britain. I'll certainly give him a run for his money. He doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't outsize me.
Paul said to me that, you know, if I was going too low, then I might lose some size while pursuing the condition for the back. So yeah, there is a risk that if I'm too depleted, I could lose muscle. But that doesn't seem to be the case just yet. I am monitoring my condition all over, and I am monitoring it to make sure. So there is a risk for sure, but it's not, I don't think, happened just yet.
It does have a psychological effect seeing him like this, without a doubt. But I knew that was always the case, you know, so. But I personally think he's cut his calories too low too soon. What about the news of James Llewellin?
That's unfortunate, that is, because, well, James has beaten me twice on stage, and that was 10 years ago,
Yeah,
I think.
Fucking hell.
Because I think we were on stage together at the
2005
Britain.
2008.
And then 2008, yeah. So it's about 10 years ago. And now, sort of 10 years later, I think I'm a lot better. And not that, you know, James is massive and...
Well, he's
you know,
not massive, he's just very conditioned.
Very, very
That's
good
not
bodybuilder.
to take anything away from him, but...
You know, and, you know, I feel I'm more competitive now than I was 10 years ago. Well, James was, obviously we've done episode 2, and the thing was that, you know, I've competed against James before, and each time James has beaten me, so I was looking forward to having another go at him. James got told by NABBA that he wasn't eligible to compete, and it's to do with, I think when you've been a pro bodybuilder, you have to have a certain amount of time not competing before you can then compete as an amateur, which I think it was a bit, maybe it could have been handled better, but I do believe, from what I've been told, because, you know, Paul knows more about NABBA than what I do, that there was some confusion about when James's last show was.
I was looking forward to actually stepping on stage with him. See, the thing is with this, see, NABBA's getting a bit of a hard time about it, but, you know, people have got to understand that it's not just black and white. You know, the website does say what it says, that once you're a pro, you can't return to being amateur. Now, Lee Priest set a precedence to destroy that rule, to be fair. But I think, to be honest, what I think would have happened is that NABBA was fine with it, for him to do the Welsh, then the Britain, and they've received complaints. It's been a struggle for both of us, to be honest. And I've always said if it affects the family, it's not worth it. You know, that's not me just giving a bit of, you know, voiceover to it. You know, if it affects the family, then it's not worth it.
He's moody, he's tired, he moans a lot, he's either really, really hungry or he's feeling sick. It's a bit like living with a pregnant woman. Yeah, there's lots and lots of bad changes as well, which is what I expected. But you know, he's over halfway through now, so that's exactly what I expected. He did tell me to be honest, so I am going to be completely honest. I'm struggling this time round because he's the one who's on a diet, so he's the one doing the cardio, he's the one who's dieting, and he's exhausted, and I get that, but I'm also having some sort of sympathy exhaustion alongside it, because when Paul's at the gym, it's obviously myself who's looking after the children. I work full time.
Jen's right. It's tough this year.
It's tough. It's tough going. And if it was just myself and Paul, that's fine. I wouldn't have to speak to him for 16 weeks. That's all right. We could get through 16 weeks. But when you bring children into the mix, it makes it 20 times harder, because I, during the week, feel like a single parent, because Paul either works away or obviously he's busy with the cardio in the gym. And it means that I have to take on all the extra things that he would usually help me with. And I find that difficult, because I just want to say to him, just stop thinking about it for an hour, just have some fun and enjoy yourself. But because he is so focused, and I don't want this to be really sort of negative against Paul, because he is incredibly focused and committed, and that's what it takes to be a bodybuilder. But when all your energy and time is focused just on your food and your training, it leaves very little time to focus on anything else. And that's what's difficult, because when you've got children, you know, you can't let them suffer, or you can't stop enjoying them. But that's what sort of is happening at the moment, because of the amount of energy he puts into competing.
Now you've smashed my how good of a dad you are reputation out the water.
You tell me to be honest, and I'm being honest. That's how I feel.
It is a... So yeah, Jen was overly honest, let's be fair. So it wasn't anything... Although she did feel like that, and she, you know, she does feel like that and stuff, that wasn't like a true depiction of what it's like every weekend, if that makes sense. I did feel a little bit, okay, there's my reputation of a decent dad gone out the window. But like you say, it's an honest, she was honest. It's, you know, I can't say she wasn't honest about everything, because she was. The degrees to how severe it was were different that Monday, let's put it that way. But that's prepping.
The change I've noticed this time is that I don't feel Paul is enjoying it as much as what he used to. And I think maybe that's why it's been made harder for him and for me.
I've been doing this for nearly 25 years, you know. It doesn't get any easier. And for those who say it does, in general, either don't have a job, or they're lying, you know. There is this thing that's going around at the moment where people seem to, it's sort of a bragging right thing. I don't do any cardio, or I eat loads of carbs, or no one cares.
It's getting more tired, aren't you, to live with, and headaches, and not sleeping, and moaning. The mirrors are good, because now they're up, he stares in them all the time. I thought I was getting breakfast in bed the other day, but no, he was downstairs looking in the mirror. You tell him about Pancake Day as well.
Oh yeah, Pancake Day. I had a long day at work, come home, and then...
I actually rang you up to make sure you were on your way.
Yeah, she phoned me up. When you're coming home, this is 7 o'clock, when you're coming home, I said, I'm just leaving now. Good, because we all want pancakes. I said, all right, well, why don't you make pancakes then? We want you to make them.
They've had takeaway 3 times this week, and I've had to collect it or pay for it or whatever. I've had to go and get it and not eat any of it. So they've all been sat in the lounge eating takeaways. Oh, Tom, why why are you not in the, why are you in the kitchen? Well, because you're all eating fucking chips and burgers and pizzas and all the things I like to eat, so I'll just stay in the kitchen, thanks, and look at my chicken that's grilling on George Foreman. Great.
We went out Saturday night to San Carlo, and Tom was defrosting a cheesecake. We got back, the dog had got it off his side and ate it. He didn't speak to me for the rest of the night.
It was not funny.
You were not happy.
We just opened the door and the dog was just staring at us, and the cheesecake was half eaten in the box on the floor. I don't know how the dog got up there, because it's well out of its reach, but it had, and it got in it and eaten half the cheesecake.
I know not to empty the coffee jar into a canister. Right. He likes it to stay in a canister, so he knows exactly what coffee he's drinking, even though no one else drinks coffee in the house at all. So he didn't like that, did you?
So why bother putting it into a canister? Well, if it's already in a jar, why bother emptying it into another jar?
Because it doesn't match. You dropped it quite quick, didn't you? So that was quite shocking how quickly it was coming off him. And it is a lot of change. He's not comfy to cuddle up to at all. There's no fat on him. So yeah, he's looking good, but on the other side, I'm looking forward to some of it going back as well, to be honest. You can't cuddle up to him, it's like a rock. It's not comfy.
So I've got no ass.
No, he hasn't. I was trying to put it in a nice way. No, he has no ass at all. It's just muscle and skin.
Have you seen this bunch yet? He's always looking in that big mirror there, so we get to see the rear end of him. More often the rear end, we can get to see the front as well. Those buns even have veins in, don't they?
Yeah. They're like little pear drops, almost.
They remind me of like the tree
really
boars.
Peachy, like really pointy at the top, and then they like go down into like little golf balls.
Yeah, little tree boar mints, you know, the little or the soft mints. That's what they look like.
Soft mints.
Soft mints.
Soft mints on a little point.
With Tom and Paul entering the final phase of their contest prep, the use of fat-burning supplements becomes more and more important, both from over-the-counter and under-the-counter sources.
Everything I use has a purpose. So for example, I'll use a fat burner to help stimulate me when I'm working out and to help burn more fat off with the cardio. You know, things that the gear is to keep me anabolic, so I don't lose muscle, and to make me stronger, so I can train harder. And so everything has a purpose. Around about the sort of 12-week out mark, I started taking fat burners. And generally at the beginning, I'd take on an over-the-counter fat burner.
It's just the name of it, isn't it? You know, fat burner, everyone thinks it's the easy way out. You know, they take a couple of pills, you know, a day, and then they're going to lose weight. But obviously, it's not that easy. It all depends on diet and lifestyle, you know, as well.
They play a very important role, but it's how they're introduced. A lot of people will introduce them right at the beginning, all or nothing. The problem with that, you've got nowhere to go then.
So are you using an over-the-counter one?
I was using that shredder ball for a bit, but now generally I just bang an Effie in. But I don't know if I can say that on camera. About 6 weeks out, I started using a stronger fat burner, which is ephedrine based, and ephedrine is in the same family as speed, but it's not speed, but it's in the same family as that, and a lot of people use ephedrine for a stimulant and a fat burner. So it comes in a capsule, and you just take, this one has got ephedrine, caffeine and aspirin in, which is they're a synergistic combination. So you have the ephedrine as a stimulant, the caffeine as a stimulant as well, and the aspirin thins the blood, allows more fatty acids to be transported in the blood. So in theory they all work together to make everything better.
I can't use that. I get a really bad come down from it, so I stay well clear. It really messes me up. So in a prep, over a 16-20 week period, I would use clenbuterol in different formats. For example, I'll use a pill form, I'll use a liquid form, and I also have access to a product called Helios. And Helios is an injectable form of Clen that's mixed with yohimbine HCl. Not to be confused with yohimbine bark or extract. I've had clients who've said, yeah, I've got the Yohimbine, no problem, I'll take that. That's not a problem. And then I found halfway through they're actually taking Yohimbine extract. Yohimbine HCl is what you need. Yohimbine extract will get you a hard-on, which, keeps your missus happy, but it's not very good for standing on stage.
The thing is, obviously, people want a quick hit, a magic bullet or pill or whatever else to do something. So you see all these things on the shelf like, Adios and all that crap, which is, oh yeah, this is a fat burner. It's not a fat burner. They're probably diuretics, which make you lose water, which then make you lose weight, so you think you've lost fat. Anyone can take a stimulant. Yeah, I use whatever things to help me burn fat and to get big and maintain muscle and whatever else. But I still go to the gym, I still train, I still eat my good food, and I still sit at home not eating takeaways and not going out drinking and stuff like that. All the things that are not fun, and that's how I get the results.
Appointment or for a general query, press 1. For a prescription query, press 2. A referral query, press 3.
God, come on. Really? Hi there, I've got an appointment to have a Dexa scan with Penny at 12, but I'm stuck in traffic. It was just a courtesy call just to let her know that I'm on my way. It's just the traffic's really bad at the moment.
Okay, what's your name, please?
It's Mr. Scarborough.
Okay, I'll put a little bit on the screen. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, darling.
For calling. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, really? Seriously? Stop letting people out. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's not fucking hard, is it? See, prep and driving doesn't mix. We're going to the Concord Medical Centre. We're going to go and get a Dexa scan, which is the most accurate way of telling your body fat. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
What's 97? Did you say 96 and a half?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just make sure you haven't got any metal on your
Nope.
on your body at all?
Nope.
Your,
chains off.
Your chains off.
Yep.
No rings.
No rings.
No watches. Nothing like that. No piercings anywhere.
No.
Lovely. Okay. Had quite a few bodybuilders and weightlifters, and a lot of cyclists, and endurance runners. But particularly with bodybuilders, it's quite useful because I think you change your diet and training according to when your competition is coming up. And I believe, Paul, you probably can shed light on this, but I believe that you try and build your muscle mass and drop your body fat just before a competition.
Paul, is that right?
That's pretty much the goal you try and achieve, is to maintain as much muscle as possible whilst dropping as much fat as possible.
This is taking a little longer because of Paul's physique, because he's very muscular, so it just needs a little bit more dose to get through the whole system. Okay, so that's you and your bone density, which is way up at the little black box, right up at the top, is just showing you that it's above normal for your age. Now, last time you came in, you had lost muscle but gained fat, and now you've completely reversed that. Despite the fact that you've lost all that weight, you've actually gained a
couple of kilograms of lean tissue. Blimey, so you're 91.9% lean tissue.
Happy with that.
That is the highest I've ever seen.
Well, what's that one?
This is your relative skeletal muscle index. It's how much muscle you have to bone density.
Right, okay.
And if you get down to 5.45, that's generally where you have something called sarcopenia, and you become very frail and you're
Right.
likely to fall over. So you're 3 times that. So yeah.
I'm not going to fall over anytime soon then.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
I think you're pretty stable.
Nice.
I don't think you'll ever. I don't think that's going to be one of your problems.
I'm 7.9%, which would actually fit. I would reckon I'm about 8%. So the last time I had this done, I was, I think it was something like 86%. I'm now 91.9. So basically, my off season in 2014 was a good one. But 8%, I'm happy with that. Drop a couple of more percent before the Britain. Everybody who says that they're 3-4% are talking out their arse. So, I reckon 6% on stage at the Britain is a doable thing, and that's extremely lean. I can tell you now there won't be many people under that. No matter what people say, you can guesstimate with calipers and stuff, but they're not accurate, not as accurate as this.
My name is Lindsay Bruce and I am the owner and founder of Elite Performance in Hereford, and I've been running this gym for about 8 years now. I was in the military for a lot of years before I started competitive bodybuilding. I got out in 2005 and then I started my bodybuilding career in 2006. I've competed approximately 20 times.
Well, Lindsay I met, I think it was 2008 or 2009, and we actually competed against each other in Gravesend in Kent. And we were in the overall together, and he beat me for the overall.
Tom won the light heavies, I won the middleweights, and then we battled out for the overall. Thankfully, I was the victor that year, but I'm pretty sure if we were to repeat that now, he'd probably hand my ass to me in a plate.
I don't know Lindsay as well as Tom. I know him basically through the circuit. I know him from Facebook, I know him from competing. I got a lot of respect for him. He gets in some really good condition.
When you get a full-time job, like Paul works around the country a lot, I can't imagine how difficult that must be. I was talking to him earlier and he was saying that he's travelling around, doing 900 miles driving in 3 days and what have you, and that must be tough. You've got to be super prepared at that stage to get done what needs to be done.
Look, you climb this, look, you're all written down in blood. Lindsay's been up to Mount Hera, where Moses went to get this workout. It's come down inscribed in the blood of a virgin.
Okay.
Sacrifice a haggis at the top to get it from the god of games.
I'm going to really make them suffer today. It's about that time now. I think they need to start stepping up the tempo and increasing the volume in sessions and really hammering themselves. So I'm going to make it a nice challenging workout for them.
This is the most muscular pose. It's normally the last pose in the mandatory poses. It shows pretty much everything from the front. Obviously chest, shoulders, both biceps and triceps, midsection, and then quads, and then the front of the calves. What we're interested in today is the shoulders. From a judge's point of view, you can see 2 of the 3 caps, side and front delt. You can see here what it does. It shows condition with the separation of the delt to arm muscles, and it brings in width.
The workout was focused a lot on variation and maximum stimulation, maximum intensity. I'm a big fan of beginning with the rear delts because it's something that If you speak to most people in the gym, bodybuilders or just recreational trainers, a lot of the time people tend to start with the front delts. A big habit is people start with front press. Now, I think put your energy into the parts that are potentially going to be weaker, especially when going on stage. And the rear deltoids is something that people just tend to lack and not know how to hit more than anything. It comes down to poor training knowledge more than anything. So for heavy pendulum swings, I got the guys to lay on the bench, and then I got them to retract their scapula, which just do that a bit, Tom. So you track this with scapula, you get the body in the right posture, keep your head in line with the delts, and then you do the pendulum swing, and it gets everything set in that position it needs to for the full contraction. 2. Yep, drop. 1. 3 more. We then moved on to barbell upright rows. When working with the upright rows, you're working a few muscles actually. You're working the upper traps, you're working the lateral head and the rear head of the deltoids. I've got the guys to bring it up in front of them rather than against the body. If you bring it up in front, it tends to keep, and you can keep the elbows back and retract at the same time. Then you can really focus on the whole upper back and rear deltoid area. Up. Come on. 1, 2, up, 3.
Yeah.
Last bit. Come on.
Come on, last one. Again.
Yeah. 2 more.
Yeah.
Nice. After that, we're on to the giant set. Giant sets are just there to provide maximum stimulation to get as much blood volume in there as possible, as well as variation. So variation is key to physique development, as we know. And as you saw, that was about 6 exercises in combination, and it really did the trick, I feel. Come on. 10 more. Good. And then we finished off with some functional work, as you see. It's probably something the guys just aren't used to. It was just to give you an example of what I tend to do with my training. I'm a big fan of a little bit of functional work to finish off the training sessions. I feel that it's not necessarily for burning fat, creating the afterburn effect or anything like that, because the guys do steady state cardio. But what I do think it does improve is overall fitness.
I hated him for the functional stuff. Hated him for it.
Come on.
He struggles more. To say that he owns a gym with all this shit in, he's struggling quite a lot. Look at him now, he's bending over like a fucker.
It's not actually that hard, I'm just empathising with Paul so he feels better. I'll go up do some press-ups in a minute.